Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, and welcome back to the channel for the Smite 2 Closed Alpha 5 update note review. This patch is going to be bringing Ra and Sobek, some other small changes, console item store, some really good stuff here. There will be no balance in this patch specifically, but they have said that they're working on balance. That will probably come in one of the future updates, just like shared on social media and on Steam and stuff like that. That's kind of the benefit to how they're doing patches right now. You know, they can push this patch out earlier, even though like the balance changes that they want in for the patch aren't done yet, because they can just release those balance changes like in a couple of days or something. So yeah, expect a big balance update likely coming as like a mini patch before CA6, but in this update there isn't actually going to be any balance. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to catch my review of those balance changes later, but let's just jump right in. So first up, general changes. They have updated the spawn placement, spreading logic, and visual animations of healing numbers on the UI to be less obtrusive when many trigger at once. So yeah, this is something people have been bringing a lot of attention to when you're getting like a bunch of small heals from like AoE auto attacks or death toll or whatever. They end up stacking up like super high on your screen and end up like trying to ascend to the stars. So I think they're probably just gonna like either combine those into like one number or make them spread a little bit more in like a cluster rather than just like straight up line, because it looks really bad. So that's good. Players can now use VGS at the end of matches. Let's go, boys, let's go. You can spam your GGs and your U-Rocks at the end of the match. It's a small thing, but it really is like a big part of like Smite, you know, being able to spam that stuff at the end of the game. They've added the match found SFX pop-up when the match is found in queue like in Smite 1. So this has been in the game already. This is just being documented in this patch notes, but this is already in the game. They have done some fixes to like the volume of this, but yeah, this has been in the game for a little while now, but that's good to see if you're tabbing out during the queues or if you're reading chat, if you're streaming or whatever. Which, speaking of streaming, excellent segue. I'm going to be streaming this patch later on my Twitch. I probably won't be live when this video goes out, but a little bit later in the day I'm going to be streaming, so keep an eye on the Twitch. Spectator, they've added golden XP timeline charts. This is just good for Founder Series Pro League stuff. Bots added to custom games will now appear during the God Select lobby. That's good. The match history menu inside the profile will now display the details of the match when clicked on. This is really good as well. I got so used to just backing out of the lobby immediately because we had no post-match stats for a long time in Smite 2 that it's kind of like muscle memory. I just click return to lobby immediately, and then I end up missing out on the stats, and people say, oh, I want to see the stats of that game, and I can just now go to my match history and view that, or like if I accidentally did it and just want to see it myself. Updated the split item store layout to be more like Smite 1's old console store, so they might have a little bit more on this further down, but yeah, this is a big one. Console players, I've seen you in my comments, I've seen everyone in like the Titan Talk chats and stuff like that. The console store is a massive issue for console players, and it's making them genuinely not play the game because it's just so hard to navigate. So this is basically going to be almost exactly like Smite 1's item store is what they said on the Titan Talk. So like the way you navigate it with like bumpers to switch between the two sides of it and all that kind of stuff, all that's going to be in. So all you console players that have been complaining, rightfully so, that the store is incredibly hard to navigate on console, that should hopefully be a lot better in this update for you. So yeah, they say LBRB to select tabs, text to show what previous and next tabs are. Tabs work like high-level filters for item types, so like offensive, defensive, and utility, and then categories are deeper dive filters, also spotted on keyboard and mouse. I don't see any reason to really use a store like this on keyboard and mouse. But here's an image of that. We'll open it in a new tab and zoom in a little bit. It's a bit of a low quality image, but you can see here just generally that's what the store's going to look like, which I don't personally know if it's exactly the same as Smite 1, but it looks pretty similar. But yeah, I've never really played on controller for Smite 1. They have a new queue info overlay when entering the change game mode menu to give more details about each queue, so we'll open this one as well. So basically, they're going to have a little bit of details. Again, sorry for the low quality image on the patch notes. This is absolutely pixelated as hell, but yeah, they're going to have like, you know, how to win, what the map is like, the gameplay, the average game length. Very similar to what you have in Smite 1, basically just describing all of the game modes. And this stuff is important to get in as we approach free to play. You're going to have some players that have maybe never played Smite 1 jumping in, and you're going to want descriptions to these game modes, understand how to win in them and all that good stuff for new player onboarding. Moving on though, Conquest, they have made Naga Soldier adjustments, so they have reduced the base health from 540 to 300 and the health per level from 80 to 40. I think this is good. I really like the Queen Naga. I think it's actually a really good objective. It like forces fights in weird areas. It spawns very early in the game, so you can sort of like plan for like Gold Fury takes and Pyromancer takes and stuff. By getting this, it promotes more objective play. Like it's an objective that promotes objective play, which I think is really good. So yeah, overall, I really do love the objective, but it is just a bit too powerful right now. This is good. I think reducing the health of them is good because they do tank for way too long, in my opinion. But also something I would like to see is like maybe don't nerf the health as much. Keep it pretty powerful, but just nerf the duration of the buff, because right now it's 3 minutes and that feels like way too long. It should be like 2 minutes or maybe even 90 seconds or something like that, just so that when you do take this objective, you have a window of being able to be incredibly powerful and be like a solo threat on objectives, or like maybe a duo threat on objectives when you have this buff. I think that is really cool and it makes the buff really impactful. But the fact that it lasts 3 minutes is just a little bit ridiculous. You know, for 3 whole minutes, that's a long time in Smite. You're just a permanent threat to like solo objectives if like your jungler or your ADC takes this. And I think it's a little bit too ridiculous, but this is a good start on nerfing it, I think, because these things letting Zoo just tank for way too long, so that's definitely good to see. Arena, they have updated the gold XP kill reward values and formulas to match Smite 1 to reduce overall snowball in the mode, so yeah, this is going to be big for Arena players. It should hopefully feel a lot more like Smite 1 in terms of like the scaling of the mode, how quickly you're getting items, how far ahead you can get. Which obviously in Arena, the intention is that you can't get very far ahead. The intention is that the game is always like roughly equal. You might get a very small amount of lead, like for a reward for getting more kills and stuff like that. But the general idea is you don't get a lead in Arena. It's always supposed to be even. So that's really good to see. New gods. So yeah, we have Ra and Sobek coming in this update. Ra is for the most part unchanged. He's going to be int scaling. He's going to be normal. But Divine Light is where he's getting the main like +1 of his kit. So for a period of activation, basic attacks now fire solar rays that deal magical damage. They count as abilities, trigger ability item effects, and pierce targets. So yeah, basically you get these enhanced autos that are essentially like a mini version of your Rabi. They will proc item effects like Soul Reaver and stuff like that, and they will go through enemies. So like you're going to have really strong clear with this. Whether or not you're going to take this at level 1 to clear the minion wave, I don't know. We'll have to see. But you get like, these AoE auto attacks that can absolutely chunk minion waves down. And I guess you can hit multiple gods with them as well if they're grouping up. With Divine Light as well, I'm not sure if it's going to be in this patch, but they have been working on the blind issues for photosensitive people. So if the white blinding light causes issues for you, if you're photosensitive, they are trying to work on like a grey/black option that you can select. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this patch specifically, but that should be coming very soon if not. Oh yeah, they say that down here. Divine Light has been adjusted to be a little less harsh for photosensitive people. Moving on to Sobek though. So Sobek is also mostly unchanged. He's not getting anything too crazy. Charge Prey has some interesting stuff that I think probably is going to be further down. His 3 though now applies a disease that can spread between enemies, and the cooldown is lower by the amount of enemies hit by the initial strike up to 4. So if you're hitting like a full wave, or if you're hitting like all the archers and the enemy soul in or whatever with this, you're going to get a substantially reduced cooldown. And it is going to have that disease that can spread to enemies, which makes them take bonus tick damage and spreads the anti-heal as well. Of course, lurking in the waters, everyone's heard about it, the sub execute. This ability is going to be roughly the same, except you're going to get permanently 25 max health each time you kill an enemy god with this, and you also gain burst healing. And of course, Sobek can now execute enemies at low health, scaling the HP threshold with the length of his channel. So basically, the longer you are channeling Sobek's ultimate, it goes up to, I believe, a 25%. Yeah, they say down here, 10 to 25%. So if you're just initially charging it as soon as, and popping it as soon as it's charged, basically it's going to do 10%, but if you charge it all the way, it's going to be a 25% health AoE execute, which is pretty nasty. I feel like it's been mentioned already, but people are freaking out about the fact that like a Guardian has an execute. 25% health, Sobek ultimate was already probably doing like 800 damage or something. So against squishies, the execute is probably not going to matter very much. It's mostly just going to be against tanks that will be mitigating down that regular damage quite substantially and also have more max health. So like 25% of a tank's health might be like 750 health, whereas against a squishy it's like 500. And also of that 750, tanks are going to be mitigating a lot more of it than squishies would be. So really, this execute is only going to matter for killing tanks. I think a lot of the time, if you're fully charging this to 25%, it would be doing a quarter of a squishy's health anyway. But yeah, still pretty crazy to see Sobek with an execute. And finally, we have some miscellaneous adjustments. So Sobek's camera is no longer locked after hitting with charge player, allowing him to see where he will throw the enemy more easily. So this is good. You know, as soon as you hit this, you can like 180 your camera, see where they're going to go, and then probably as soon as you're out of the locked animation, you can immediately be facing the right way to like chase them down and stuff like that. And then charge player also no longer continues the animation if the enemy becomes CC immune or dies during the pluck sequence, which is really good as well. So if you pluck them and they instantly bees, or if you pluck them and they instantly die, you're going to immediately be out of that animation and ready to follow up rather than being stuck in a long animation, which is just good for like general game feels. So that's the major stuff on the patch, but we've also got some bug fixes to go over here, which we'll just talk about briefly. So they've fixed issues with the Titans multi-hitting. This is a good one. We've seen a lot of complaints about that. Titans are double hitting you. They absolutely chunk. Fixed issues with death spectate when viewing an ally using the teleporter. The camera was too far zoomed out. Fixed godbots getting stuck on jungle camps, and fixed issues in draft ranked where the countdown SFX wasn't playing when it was your turn to pick in the last 10 seconds. This is good. Definitely, I feel like a lot of people that dodge, they just don't realize it's their time to queue, and in Smite 1, you have the countdown SFX. So that's definitely good to see. Moving on, we have Danzaburo. So they have fixed an issue where his passive clones were providing too much lifesteal and other high stats if enemy gods killed them. Fixed an issue where the passive clones were stacking Reaper, and fixed a god kill tracker multiplying kills by the number of clones spawned. This is a funny one. I imagine Danzaburo, like, tracker kills were going up astronomically. Neath, they have fixed an issue where ultimate would not target the Morrigan or Athena properly after they use their ultimate ability, so that's good. Athena fixed issues with her ultimate targeting not appearing immediately on allies. Fixed an issue where she could not target Morrigan with her ultimate. Ares fixed an issue where Shackle's chains were not dealing damage to jungle boss objectives. Sol fixed an issue where she couldn't use Aegis during the Saporate build-up. This is one that I have actually seen quite a few complaints about and was very annoying, so that's good to fix. Susano fixed an issue with VGS not playing in Onyx Blade. Mordred fixed an issue where he couldn't run through your mode just ultimate walls, and Baron fixed issues where the enemy team could purchase Baron's Brew and games without a Baron could purchase Baron's Brew. This is a big one as well. I've seen this quite a few times where I'm like, wait, there's no Baron in this game, or we have no Baron on our team and I'm still able to buy Baron's Brew, so that's definitely good to fix. And finally, some general UI stuff. Fixed rank EOML where SR gains and losses weren't showing on the results page. That's good. Fixed EOML God Mastery counting total worshippers rather than those gained from the match. This is also good. EOML is end of match lobby, by the way. So they fixed this. This is good. I hate seeing like 700, like plus 700 worshippers at the end of the game, and I don't actually know how many I got. Fixed some players that couldn't claim certain Ascension rewards. This is also good. This is something I've seen people complain about. I've not had an issue with it personally, but I've seen a lot of people complaining that they couldn't claim some of their Ascension rewards. Fixed the profile ranked season panels not having gamepad navigation, so good for console players. Fixed an issue where some players couldn't select a role preference. I've not experienced this, but that's good. Fixed the victory/defeat art at the end of matches being too small. That's good. Call to action system improvements in cases where the notification would not get removed. I don't really know what that means. Spectator can now see the game pause notification when players pause in game. That's good for like Pro League stuff. Spectator red team active item timers and relic timers now trigger when it is used. Also good for Pro League. Improvements to black lines on nameplate health bars disappearing at a far distance. This is good. I've noticed this. Ranked draft consoles users can now see their cursor highlighter when it's their turn to pick. Fixed an issue where leveling up while dead would show HP on the HP bars. Is also something I've noticed, especially when I've been streaming. Everyone's like, wait, you didn't actually die. You have 90 HP left there. It's like, no, you did die. You just leveled up at some point and you got that HP per level. Fixed minion HP bars appearing over the escape menu. Also something I've noticed. Fixed the UI video self VFX opacity tooltip being shown twice. I don't really know what that means. And fixed UI healing numbers amounts fading to black. They should now fade out like regular numbers, so that's good as well. And finally, a couple of known issues and roadmap. Split console store doesn't have a proper recommended item section yet, but that will be added in a later patch. And bots are still not appearing in the match lobby for game modes versus AI will be coming soon. So yeah, there you go. That's the CA5 notes. As I said, no balance in this one just because I think they wanted to push this update out, you know, kind of as soon as it was ready, which is basically, you know, as soon as the console store, Sobek and Ra are ready, those are the main things in this update. And that's what they're doing at the moment. They're just kind of like pushing out updates as they're ready to get content out there to people, get as many gods in the game as fast as possible. But I believe balance will probably be coming at some point in a mini update in the next few days. So yeah, stay tuned to the channel. I'll be covering all that balance stuff as well, and I will catch you guys for another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.